Hello everyone, the Nerd Medic here, and in this video we are going to learn about the concepts of type 1 and type 2 error. So to understand type 1 and type 2 error, first we have to understand how we conduct any biomedical research. To conduct any biomedical research, first we start with something known as a hypothesis. So what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is simply the starting point of any investigation. So in the very beginning of the investigation, we try to give a future prediction about how things may turn out. Just like before starting a trip, we try to predict how things are going to turn out. Similarly, before starting a research, we just make an idea or a brief layout about how things are going to turn out. So whenever we start a research, we start with two hypotheses. So one of the hypothesis is known as the null hypothesis, and another hypothesis is known as the alternate hypothesis. Right. So the null hypothesis predicts the most ordinary outcome. That means which is a very regular or usual happening is predicted in the null hypothesis. For example, suppose we are going to investigate whether sun rises in the east or not. So the null hypothesis will give you the most conventional idea that we have about rising of the sun. So currently the most conventional idea about rising of the sun that we have in our science says that sun rises in the east. So as per the idea of null hypothesis, the null hypothesis will be sun rises in the east. Right. So for our investigation, anything apart from null hypothesis will be the alternate hypothesis. So we will take that sun does not rise in the east. That will be the alternate hypothesis. Well, so now we have our pair of hypotheses. Now we can start the experiment. We conducted two experiments, right? So one group conducted an experiment based on these hypotheses and got something known as outcome 1, and the other group conducted the experiment and got an outcome 2. Now over here in this north, south, east, west plot, let us plot the experiments. First we are going to plot the null hypothesis. So what is the null hypothesis that we are going to plot? So sun rises in the east. So our null hypothesis plotting will be sun in the east. So this is what is the usual outcome as per our conventional understanding of science, right? Now suppose outcome 2 says, in the second experiment where we get outcome 2, sun rises somewhere here, right? Somewhere a bit north to the east, but still in the east direction, right? Whereas in the outcome 1 of the experiment, we get to see that the sun rises in the south, right? The red one is outcome 1. So now we can see that in outcome 1, there's a significant deviation from what is known to our conventional science. So there's a significant deviation, right? So this significant deviation, or the level of significance, this deviance in turn tells us about the level of significance, right? Now this level of significance is statistically determined by something known as p-value, right? So for this video purpose, let us take that, and as per the diagram we can see that the outcome that we are getting, that the sun is rising in the south, is significant. Why? Just try to understand in a common way. Like if you see sun rising in the south, that will be a significant scientific discovery. So in our experiment, if we get to see that the sun is rising in the south, that will be a very, very significant scientific outcome. Similarly, in this video also, we are considering the outcome 1 as significant, since the sun is rising in the south. And outcome 2, the sun is rising in the east, but a bit deviated from the null hypothesis. So that's not that significant, right? Now how much deviation is significant, that is told to us by the p-value, and that is not today's discussion. We will have a separate discussion on p-value. Now we have understood by now that outcome 1 for this video is significant. Now once we have the outcomes, we have to choose a hypothesis. Now once we have the outcomes in hand, we have a step where we have to choose a hypothesis. Like we have to now, based on the outcomes, we have to tell in our report that which of our predictions are correct, whether the null hypothesis is correct or the alternate hypothesis is correct, right? So let us see, suppose we get the outcome 1, and even after getting the outcome 1, even we have got the outcome 1 at hand, we are still choosing the null hypothesis. Now outcome 1 is where the sun is rising in the south. So our scientific discovery tells us that the sun rises in the south, but still we are reporting that sun rises in the east. So that is an error that doesn't go well with our findings. So this is, we understand, is an error, right? So over here we have an error, and this error is known as type 1 error, the error we were talking about in today's discussion, the type 1 error, right? Now in another instance, what happens, for example, we have got the outcome 2, that is sun rises in a bit northeast, for example, let's say northeast, okay, and we accept the fact that sun rises in the east, okay. So as the sun is rising in the northeast, so the conventional idea that sun rises in the east still holds true. So if in that situation, if we accept the null hypothesis, it is okay, because as per our p values, rising in the northeast is not significant, that deviation is not that significant. So yes, this is correct to accept null hypothesis when we have got outcome 2, right? Now let us consider the third option. Like we have got outcome 1, that we have observed that sun is rising in the south, and we are accepting the alternate hypothesis, that is we are reporting that sun does not rise in the east. That is very true, because we have observed in our scientific experiment that we are getting outcome 1, that is sun is rising in the south, and we are saying that sun does not rise in the east. So if in case of outcome 1 we accept the alternate hypothesis, that is true, there is no error in that. Alright, so now we are coming to the final point of it, that is we have got outcome 2 in our experiment, that is sun still rises in the east, a bit northeast, and even after that we are accepting the hypothesis that sun does not rise in the east. Now these are contradictory, because we have seen that sun is rising in the northeast, eastern part of northern part of the east region, but still we are saying that sun does not rise in the east. So this is contradictory, and hence this is an error, and this error is known as the type 2 error. Now in certain statistical textbooks you will see that the type 1 error is also known as the alpha error, and the type 2 error is called as beta error, and hence type 1 error and type 2 errors are also called as alpha error and beta error, right? I hope this video makes your understanding of errors very clear. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video among your friends and peers of medical school, and to subscribe to the channel so that you never ever miss a video from my channel. Until then, bye bye, see you in the next one.